And good evening from the South Suburban Ice Arena. This is the CHSAA 5A State Hockey Championship. Tonight's action is quarterfinal action between Valor Christian and the Standley Lake Gators. I'm Manny Furtado for Shaw Hockey Productions. Glad to have you on board for this evening's contest. Valor comes in with a #1 ranking, #1 in the Metro Conference with a 17-1 in record. They come in under the helm of George Gwozdecki. And in goal, they're going to have Cooper Robinson, #1. He's backed up by Coffee Trudeau, #33. And the Standley Lake Gators. What a story this is. Standley Lake comes in. They're ranked #1 in the Central Conference. They came in with a 12-5-2 record, and what a change from last year when they went 2-17. This year, under the helm of Tyson Davis, they have turned things around. And in goal for them is going to be Jack Kawamura. And Jack Kawamura, #31, is backed up by Mason Bean, #1. So we are within about 40 seconds here of the opening face-off. We're going to give you at least as far as the lineups. For Valor, Noah Fecute heads up the #1 line with Maddox Charles, #23 to his left, Henry Barnes, 27 to his right. Garrett Coveney heads up, his centers the second line. He's #9. He's got Alec Alfieri, #12, and Brooks Wright, #15 to his left and right. #14 is Owen Walsh. He is the centerman for the third line. He's got Daniel Galushko, #17 to his left. Ben Larson, #18 to his right. And the fourth line is a pair of forwards, as Valor will come in with 11 forwards. Carter Charles, #16, and Andrew Jenkins, #24. Brock Benson is out with a broken hand. And therefore, Valor will be playing with 7 defensemen. So the defensemen are Simon Terosian, #6, Aiden Owen, #7, Chase Whitmore, #25, Nicholas Morona, #11, Jeremy Muir, #10, and Mark Ladwig, #8, are the pairings on the D, and Edward Chen is the 7th defenseman. For the Standley Lake Gators, #3 is Jackson Cornett. #4 is Ryan Eckerson. #5 is Logan Jackson. #6 is Samuel Dubiel. #7 is Quentin Fadden. #8 is Gary Pettigo. #22 is Caden Grobowski. #23 is Ian Dacko. #24 is Elijah Plunkett. #27 is Zane Gagne. #28 is Cameron Smith. #29 is Hunter Cohen. #44 is Ryan Mills. #46 is Daniel Finnegan. #50 is Derek Castro. #53, Anthony Janowski. #58 is Aiden Tilton. #60 is Eric Glushko. Here's the starting lineups for the Standley Lake Gators. It's Jack Kawamura, as he is the sophomore goaltender, and he's got with him #27 is Zane Gagne. #29, Hunter Cohen. #60 is Eric Galushko. And on the defense is Jackson Cornett. And #7 is Quentin Fadden. So that is your lineup for Standley Lake. And Gary Davis, Mark Lindell, and Michael Koltecki are on the bench, along with head coach Tyson Davis. And now Valor in their home whites. And in goal is #1, Cooper Robinson, the junior netminder. Simon Terosian, #6. Lefty. Aiden Owen, #7. The senior at right D. Noah Fecute heads up the top line. Maddox Charles, the super freshman, is #23, and then the senior Henry Barnes, #27. We've got George Gwozdecki, Ian Blumpler, Sean Capel, Jeff Martin, and Adrian Wiedemann on the bench with Coach George Gwozdecki. We will pause for our national.
of tonight's game's officials, training officials with respect, either be distributed with judgment will enhance the overall experience of the student athletes on the ice. Tonight's quarterfinal is about student athletes involved in the contest. Be respectful of them, your opponent, and the contest officials. At this time, would you please rise and kindly move your caps as we honor our country with the playing of our national anthem.
As this is Valor's home rink here at the South Suburban Ice Center. We're on rink 2 as Valor comes in with their home whites, trimmed out with baby blue and gold. And the Stanley Lake Gators in their blue, trimmed out with gray and a touch of green. So we are just about ready for the first 17-minute frame. Excited to get this action going for Valor as they got a bye on the initial game, and Standley Lake beat Heritage 6-4 to get to this quarterfinal matchup. Here we go. We are ready for drop of the puck, as taking it is Hunter Cohen versus Noah Fekete, and Fekete wins it back, and Maddox Charles tips it in, and Henry Barnes chases as he gets there with Fadden. Spinning out of the corner is Fekete. Fekete moves it up to Tarosian, and the first shot of the game is seen the whole way by Kawamura. Kawamura makes the easy save and holds on there. We're at the 16:43 mark of this first period. And you get a good look there of Noah Fekete, the senior centerman, and one of the captains on this team. Puck is punched back over to Tarosian, and Tarosian feeds it back down the wall. Pushed back behind the cage, and it's Maddox Charles with it, finds, and the shot, and a quick save by Kawamura as Aiden Owen got a good wrister. And watch Aiden Owen. Aiden Owen inches in down that right-hand side from his D position. Maddox Charles sees him and sends it right to his blade, and Kawamura makes the easy save there. He's got 2 notches already. And over to this. Dubiel tries to move it out. Dubiel, the puck squirts up, back up to Whitmore. Whitmore shot and a rebound. Whitmore picks it back up, and another save. Kawamura has made 4 saves to start out this game as Valor keeping the pressure on. Brooks Wright ties up his man in the corner, and trying to spin away is Pedigo. Back over to the far side. Puck has moved up the wall. Up, not out, as Coveney's got it. Back down to number 12. That's Alec Alfieri. Puck is back into the corner, and Stanley Lake has seen enough. They're going to send it the distance. They'll take an icing call here and get some fresh troops on. So for Coach Tyson Davis, he looks on, and as I mentioned, he's done a wonderful job with this team this year, as they had only 2 wins last year. This year they come back with 12 wins, and against some pretty good competition. Puck is moved back down to Galushko down in the corner. Galushko's got Larson up along the wall. Galushko is tied up there by Jackson, Logan Jackson. Jackson tries to move it up, and the shot blockered away again by Kawamura. Galushko continues to battle, but the puck is taken away, picked back up by Owen Walsh. Walsh, top of the circle, dishes it back. And Muir stashes it back down below the line as Galushko along the goal line moves it back over to the far side. As Larson finds Ladwig, shot, goal, scores, and Valor has the early lead. As Mark Lagwood came in to the same spot that Aiden Owen was, it is 1-0 Valor. We are less than 2 minutes into this contest, and it's 1-0 as Ladwig gets the goal, scores the goal from the right-hand side, and Kawamura has seen a lot of shots already here. And you get a good look at it, and there's Larson. Larson picks up that puck. He's got the same spot, and he finds short side on Kawamura. It is 1-0 from Larson.
Goal scored by number 8, Mark Ladwig. Assisted on the play by number 18, Manny Larson. Time to go 40 in the first period. Ladwig from Larson.
And so Valor strikes early. Standley Lake moves the puck out, back out to center. Muir punches it, punch back over to Ladwig. Ladwig softy off the mid-ice boards. Coveney passes it to himself. And he pitchforks it back in as Cornett goes back and guides it along the boards over on the far side, picked up by Tilton, and Tilton is able to get it back out to center. Aiden Owen, a little self-pass. Tilton's got it again, tries to get it in deep, and gets it past Jenkins. Jenkins with a touch. Tarosia with the head up. Fekete has it knocked off his stick. And Fekete at the Gators' blue line looking for it. The Gators look to take it back, but no further than Simon Tarosian on the red line. Push back in. Finnegan moves the puck back over to the far side. Puck comes back up, and it's picked up by Cohen. Cohen guides it back up, and he's got Galushko up ahead of him. And tying it away was Simon Tarosian. There's Noah Fekete. Fekete gets tied up, and the puck is picked back up by Gagne. Back over to Aiden Owen. A pass off the boot as a little turnover is there, and Aiden Owen is able to swat it back out to center. Henry Barnes gives chase. But the Gators come up with the puck in front of Kawamura's cage. And a little setting up back behind the cage. Dubiel out of Slovakia with the giveaway. Morona's got it. Morona was looking for Barnes in tight, unable to. Gagne moves it out. Gagne with a nifty pass off the mid-ice boards, picks it back up, and a punishing hit over on the far side as Plunkett is put into the boards by Chase Whitmore. Morona has time, and he looks up ice, finds Barnes, tipped there, puck back over to the near side. Finnegan's got it. Finnegan on the dasher board, this time getting into the action is Cooper Robinson. Robinson moves it over to the near side corner, and the cross-ice feed is picked off and punched right back in by Logan Jackson. Cooper Robinson will do it again, same spot. Let's see if the different result. Standley Lake, the Gators putting on some good pressure. Brooks Wright feeds it back over to the far side. Alfieri's got it, and a quick pass, it finds the mark. But Brooks Wright's got it right with Coveney in front. Coveney, the shot scores! As Coveney sets up, and Kawamura didn't have a chance on that as Brooks Wright came in down the right-hand side after getting the pass from Alfieri. And Brooks Wright drew the defenseman in, fed it back over, and Garrett Coveney finds glove side of Kawamura. It's 2-0. So Coveney from Wright and Alfieri. As I mark this down, we're at the 12:42 mark. Valor's got a 2-0 lead for the Gators.
This is on the play by number 15, Brooks Wright.
They don't give Alfieri an assist, but we know he had one, so we're going to give him one here. And we'll see if they pick that up. Certainly the coaches always do that. Let's get you back to the live action here as Standley Lake putting some pressure on, and the feed back by Mills is intercepted. Puck pushed back over to the near side, and Muir, the defenseman, had a jump. Galushko's got the puck. Puck is back in the wickets and guided back off the wall by Castro. Back out to the Valor end. Ladwig will get there first. His backhander, he ties up Mills. Mills gets canceled, and meanwhile, Jeremy Muir sets up back behind Cooper Robinson's cage and moves the puck back over to the far side. Jumping in stride. Here comes Walsh stretching for it, but a good defensive play as Dubiel gets back. Dubiel, the Slovakian native. This is his second year on this Standley Lake team. Dubiel does his job, moves it back up to the wall, but Aiden Owen is there. Owen sidesteps one, finds Jenkins. Jenkins' shot hit a man in front as Stanley Lake tries to move that puck out as Walsh continues to battle, chops at it. Dubiel was there. Walsh over on the half boards. Dubiel's got it one more time. Sends it Barone to the far side as Aiden Owen once again reads that play. And the puck is swept out of the zone over on the near side. Simon Terosian with a pass back up through center. Puck is picked off. And trying to move the puck into the Valor zone. But unable to. The balancing puck finds the stick of Carter Charles. Charles hit the side of the cage as Kawamura got a break there. We've got an icing call as and there was you got a good look at Carter Charles coming in. Carter Charles had a good jump, and the junior got a shot in on Kawamura, but it hit the side of the cage. We're at the 10:48 mark of this first period, 2-0 Valor over the Gators. As Coveney wins the faceoff, and the puck rolls around the dasher board. Morona, the defenseman, jumps into it, and the puck ricochets back out between the circles. Carter Charles moves it back over to the far side. Stanley Lake's got it, and they've got a 2-on-2 developing. Taking the puck in and off of Robinson's glove. Robinson didn't get a good handle on that. Logan Jackson, the defenseman, leading the charge for the Gators. Puck comes back up, and here comes Carter Charles again. But the puck is going to drift into the corner, and Carter Charles racing towards it, can't get to it. Stanley Lake tries to move it back up the wall. Whitmore touches it up there, and Fekete backs him up. Puck is hoisted up and out, and back to the Valor end. Jenkins finds his man, and it's Carter Charles. Carter Charles hands it off as Fekete sweeps in. As Carter Charles goes for a line change, his brother takes a spot. Meanwhile, Noah Fekete working out of the corner, finds Barnes over on the far side, looking for Maddox Charles. Puck ricochets back over in front of the Gators bench. Punch pass back up high, the shot in tight, and here is Kawamura, who makes the save and holds on. Kawamura saw that one, and it took a little bit of a misdirection there, but he hopped on that puck and freezes it there. Kawamura's seen a lot of action. We don't have the shots on goal yet, but it's a lot to a little, and he's done a good job to keep it 2-0 thus far as Barnes with the puck, top of the circle, finds Morona over on the far side. Morona swinging this, and the puck is punched back out by Finnegan. Back over to the near side as Whitmore gets to it. Stanley Lake moves it back over, as moving it over was Finnegan one more time. As they look to move it out, the punch pass caught up in Whitmore's skates. And Valor places it back in as Whitmore goes for a line change. And Henry Barnes steals the puck back behind Kawamura's cage as he's ridden into the ditch by Dubiel. Back up to the point. The shot hit a body in front. Dubiel's there. Dubiel sends it along over on the far side. And the puck is moved back out as Plunkett calls for it. He's held up, and Walsh with a soft pass finds Morona. Morona back to Barnes, a touch play. Maddox Charles on the jump. Maddox Charles makes a move, brings it in. Charles right, ties it, tuck it in. Then takes a high check. He's going to take the game's first, as he's going to earn the first power play for Valor. Back up high to Larson. Larson winds and just misses. Back over to Muir. Muir's got the puck, looks for a man. It was Coveney, and Stanley Lake touches it up there. Going to the box is going to be Ryan Erickson, and he goes for, let's see if we can pick up the call here, as I believe it's going to be either a high stick, and it is. And I've got the wrong man. It's Cameron Smith going to the box. So Smith for a high stick. And this comes in the 8:26 mark. So Valor gets a chance, and they've got their second line out there on this power play. Henry Barnes with the puck on the edge of the circle. Backhand feed, and the puck passed out of the zone as Morona will recoil. Hard pass. Barnes reels it in. Barnes looking for Brooks right in tight. And Kawamura makes a save. The second shot by Walsh drifts wide. Brooks right one more time, stops on a dime, and on the edge of the circle feeds it back down to Barnes, looking for the return feed. It's not there. well defended by Standley Lake. And the pass goes off of a boot. Standley Lake is able to hoist it up and out. Giving chase is Tilton, as Cooper Robinson with 1:17 remaining in the power play. Feeds it back over to Morona, who takes it into the zone. Morona squares up the shot, ricochets back to the far side. Daniel Galushko keeps it in for Valor, and Brooks Wright has it. Wright back up the wall. Walsh has it. Walsh has Morona. Hands it off to Morona over on the near side, and the bank pass off the ball is Red. Unable to come up with the handle, though, and Valor's able to keep it in the zone. Brooks Wright over to the far side, dishes it in front. Henry Barnes in tight, gets the goal. Henry Barnes scores. It's 3-0 Valor, as Valor scores a power play goal with 46 seconds remaining in Smith's high sticking penalty. And Kawamura on his backside here needs a little bit of support as Barnes gets the goal. Scores the goal here, and it's a power play goal here at the 7:12 mark. And you get another good look at it as Henry Barnes got that shot in on Kawamura, and Kawamura kind of juggled it there and lost the handle and finds the back of the cage. It is 3-0 Valor. Pass.
Play number 14, Owen Walsh. And number 15, Brooks Wright.
Walsh and Wright get assists
Power play goal, Barnes
to make it 3-0.
And Wright at 9:48.
And Aiden Owen quickly back over to line mate Rosian. Drifts in on Kawamura. He'll hang on. Jack Kawamura came in with a 2.09 goals against average. .898 save percentage. And the puck is pitched back over to the near side. Glushko. Sounds familiar. It's spelled differently than Daniel Galushko. This is Glushko. I don't think there's an A in it. Perhaps if there was, that'd be cousins. Perhaps there's something I didn't know. Back to the live action as Aiden Owen hands it off over to Carter Charles, and Charles takes the zone, edge of the circle. In front, Aiden Owen trying to shovel it in on Kawamura. Puck over on the far side, and Standley Lake's going to get their first power play. Here's Carter Charles. Takes a penalty for Valor. And this is a slashing call. .6:15 to go in this first period, and this is just what Tyson Davis needed. So let's set the stage for you. He's taking that face off there. It was Pedigo. Puck comes back up to the point. Fad's got it. Wrister goes one. Plunkett with the puck over on the far side, and the whistle is off for Morans. The Standley Lake team came in. They had 15 power play goals this season, which beat the power play goals against by 2. They had given up 13. And off to the races, here comes Noah Fecati back over to Alfieri. Alfieri to Fecati, backhander. What a save! Kawamura got his toe down and made that save. Put a marker on that one as Kawamura on a 2-on-1. It was fed back over to Fecati, and Fecati picked the puck up, drew it back over to the far side. I don't know how Kawamura stayed with him, but he did. And he tracked that puck and made a pad save. What a save by Kawamura as he saves a shorthanded goal. Standley Lake sets up the power play, breakout with 1:09 remaining, and they pitch it back over to the far side. Morona is challenged there by Grabowski. Puck comes out, and here comes Fecati again. Fecati with one man to beat, dishes it back over, smart side, shot goal. This time he beats Kawamura high. Noah Fecati with a short-handed goal. He had 2 opportunities. He makes sure on the second one as he had that nifty little pass to himself. He sidesteps the defenseman, goes wide, and then sticks side high on Kawamura, scores. We're going to get a look at it from behind Kawamura. Then you see him coming out there, and back there was Dubiel, and there's that pass, and it goes stick side. Kawamura can't do anything other than wave at it. It is 4-0 with a shorthanded goal by Noah Fekete. And it goes unassisted at about the 5-minute mark here. Valor with a 4-0 lead. They've got 2 even strength, a power play, and now a shorthanded goal. So Jack Kawamura's seen a lot of action thus far. And with 21 seconds remaining in the power play, revving up the engine over on the far side and moving the puck in. Over on the far side was number 46, Finnegan. He goes for a forecheck, and tying his man up was Dubiel, the defenseman, trying to provide a little bit of offensive energy here at this power play. Puck is punched back down below the line, and Aiden Owen is able to get enough of it. Tipped back over to the far side, held in by Standley Lake, but Tarosian's got it. Tarosian back over to Galushko. Galushko with the no-look feed, looking for Carter Charles in front, and again, Kawamura makes a save. Kawamura with, and what a play, is trying to stretch for that puck and put that in. Kawamura made a heck of a play. As this puck is punched out, that's going to go for icing. The power play is over, and we've got 3:47 remaining in this first period. As we've got Mike Shaw on camera here tonight. Mike. And Mike is, we got a little beat music here tonight, and it's a little bit better than the normal. I mean, I don't know who's in the box, but they're bopping their head, and it's, you know, it's a little bit better than the usual fare that we're used to. So at least I think this music was made at least about the time of the age of these players. So back to the live action as Tilton on the forecheck for Standley Lake. Goes down there as Janowski also on the forecheck, and Noah Fekete one more time takes it into the zone. Thinks about handing it off, drives it to the side of the cage, and sweeping in is Henry Barnes. Barnes feeds it back up high. Maroner takes the shot, bouncing puck cleared out nicely by Eriksson. Eriksson cleaned that puck out as it was in the slot, and Fekete was lurking. Puck is stolen and picked back up by Dacko. Dacko feeds it back up to Tilton. Tilton surrounded. Tries to track down that puck as he takes a heavy check from Whitmore. Tilton delivers it back, and Tilton goes down, and Whitmore is going to get a penalty. As penalty is going to be a charging call, or an interference call. So Standley Lake will get their second power play of this first period. Whitmore, interference. And this comes at the 2:47 mark of this first period. So Standley Lake setting up. That was Hunter Cohen, the face-off specialist. As you see him, he's been a terrific face-off specialist for Tyson Davis this year, as he lurks along the blue line, waiting for Gagne to bring the puck in. He does so. Aiden Owen shoulders shoulder to shoulder with Gagne. The feed right in front as an active stick. Glushko was waiting for the pass. An active Valor stick knocks it away. Puck over on the far side, picked up by Gagne. Feeds it back in. Aiden Owen will get to it first, but Glushko was there as well. Noah Fekete, the backhander, bats it back out to this the Gators ice. Setting back up behind Kawamura's cage with 1:07 remaining in the power play. The breakout back over on the far side is dumped in, steered into the near side corner, and waiting for it there was Cohen. The rest of the mates were going for a line change as Alfieri weaves his way through center. Alfieri brings it in the back and takes a shot, and another toe save by Kawamura. You hear the cowbell over on the far side for Standley Lake for the Gators. That's for Kawamura on another save. This time Muir down in deep. The defenseman defenseman, the ricochet, and the puck over on the far side. Alfieri tries to chisel it in over on the far side, but Kawamura was there. And he rolls from side to side, makes the save. 1:22 remaining in the period, 35 seconds remaining in Whitmore's interference call. And Stanley Lake's got a defensive zone faceoff. And taking this faceoff is Ryland Mills, one of the hardest workers on this Stanley Lake squad. Mills sets up into his D position, gets a stick on it, and continues to battle along the wall. You can see why a lot of times he wears that hard hat for Coach Tyson Davis. Sweeping in is Dubiel. Dubiel feeds it back, and Finnegan's got it. Daniel Finnegan feeds it back up to the line, and chasing it down is Mark Ladwig. Soft pass to his defensive mate. Muir has trouble on the wall. Puck is chopped at and comes back out to center where Daniel Finnegan settles. Finnegan sends it back in as Cameron Smith had just gotten back inside. Power play is over. 45 seconds remaining in the period. This is going to be icing. Stanley Lake's going to get an offensive zone faceoff with 41.3 seconds remaining in this first period, trailing 4-0. Pretty good crowd here for a Tuesday night. And we've got action. We've got another game right after this. We've got Regis versus Monarch in the other quarterfinal. There's two more contests tomorrow that'll round out the final four. And shoulder to shoulder into the corner there is Morona. Morona tries to feed up the wall. Galushko chases. He'll get to it first. He's got Walsh on one side. Galushko driving down, passes it back over. Walsh, Kawamura, another save. Kawamura has stood on his head. Even though it's 4-0, he has just done a terrific job. And a lot of these, a number of 10th graders a number of sophomores on the Stanley Lake squad. They're just going to get better here as they've got a young squad here. Puck over on the far side, past Walsh, the final 4 seconds of the period. Morona's got it, he'll dump it, that's gonna do it. There's the buzzer. After one, Valor leads 4-0. And to recap the scoring, Mark Lagwood, the defenseman, got Valor on at the 15:30 mark, making it 1-0. Garrett Coveney from his line mates, Wright and Alfieri, made it 2-0, 12:42. Then Henry Barnes scores a power play goal from Walsh and Wright. And then to make it 4-0, Noah Fekete with a shorthanded goal in 5 minutes. That's where we stand, 4-0. I'm Manny Furtado for Shaw Hockey Productions. Stay with us. We've got the second period coming up in about 15 minutes. And welcome back to the South Suburban Ice Arena in this quarterfinal CHSAA matchup between Valor and Standley Lake. Valor leads 4-0 as we are just about ready for the second period. As I mentioned in this quarterfinal action, we've got Regis and Monarch coming up next. And tomorrow, the other two games, the final two games are played, and that'll be Ralston Valley versus Cherry Creek. And then Denver East versus Chaparral. So that rounds out your quarterfinal matchups. Winners play in Colorado Springs on Saturday. We're back to live action. We've just started. Fresh sheet of ice, and the puck is dumped into the Gators' end as Maddox Charles dishes it back over to Henry Barnes. Barnes looking for Fekete. Fekete gloves it down, and Kawamura makes another save as he juggles it in his mitt there. Jack Kawamura has been impressive thus far. Even though he trails 4-0, I don't have shots on goal, but the majority of the action has been in front of him. He's done a terrific job. He's made a couple of great toe saves. Easily could have been doubled up on him. So Gary Coveney with that face-off wins it back, and Alfieri back into the corner as he sidesteps Cornett. Cornett ties him up and is able to take the puck away as the puck is moved back over to the near side. It bounces past Whitmore, and giving chase now is Derek Castro. Castro, 10th grader. So you've got a number of underclassmen on this Stanley Lake squad. And with the pass, this is off of Coveney, can't come up with it. Stanley Lake thought they might have a jump, but losing the handle there was Quinn Fadden, the senior defenseman. Sweeping back in. Another senior defenseman is Cornick. Cornick gives it up and back over to Coveney, and Alfieri with a easy goal there. Alfieri scores it as 5-0 as Coveney. Kawamura was left out to dry on that giveaway, and Kawamura was down, looks back at the bench, and I don't think Alfieri is going to have an easier goal than that one. Has it 2-0, and Jack Kawamura just fanning on that puck. That puck might have got stuck this ice. Might be a little bit wet still. If you know that puck will stick to the ice, and it almost seemingly did. Alfieri from his line mate, Gary Coveney. And that time of the goal, about 15:32, Daniel Galushko with the puck. For Alfieri, he led this team in goals this year in the CHSAA season. He had 11. And for Alfieri, he found he was known as a power play goal scorer. Last year, nearly all of his goals were on the power play. This year, a little bit more evenly distributed, and he's scored some goals even strength, and that one was a beauty. As bringing the puck in, and Muir goes tumbling. Meanwhile, the puck back behind UBL. Tipped it there, and the puck is centered back, all the way back to the red stripe. Aiden Owen recoils with Owen Walsh waiting for it. Puck is punched back out, and the linesman looks cross ice. Call is made. We've got an icing call coming back to our right-hand side. So as I mentioned, a number of these seniors on this Standley Lake squad. Jackson Cornett, defenseman. Samuel Dubiel, who is out of Slovakia, second year. Quinn Fat, Gary Pedigo, Daco, Cameron Smith are the seniors here. For Valor, Valor's got a few more. They've got 12 seniors in the lineup. 7 forwards, five of their 7 defensemen are seniors. Back to live action. Puck is punched back out by Jackson, held up by Ladwig. And Jackson's got it again. Jackson guides it back over the far side. Noah Fekete gets a stick on it. And Standley Lake trying to get it past that red stripe, having trouble, and Jackson's got it. Excuse me, Jenkins hands it off. No, top of the circle. Waved at by Kawamura. Puck comes back over to Ladwig, gets beyond him. And he punches it back in. And Jackson's got it. Jackson. Some trouble as Noah Fekete keeps the pressure on. Aiden Owen does too. A little blind backhand feed over to Fekete. Puck in front of the cage, and Logan Jackson again with the puck. Jackson, known as a shutdown defenseman there, is doing his best to battle this Valor line, and there's Fekete, feeds it back over. Carter Charles was stepping in. We've got a penalty, and Valor's going to get their second power play of the game. It's going to be a tripping call. They got one in the first period, and here they get their second. So the trip comes, and it's going to be on number 58, Aiden Tilton. So Valor with their second power play unit out there, and winning that faceoff forward with number 44 Mills, but he couldn't chase it up and out of the zone. Henry Barnes banks it off the cage, gets it back to the near side. Galushko finds Morona straight ahead. Back with Galushko, cross ice feed in front. Barnes, a little chop shot. Barnes did a good job as he had a man hassling him. Morona's got the puck on the near side, draws him in, and finds Walsh on the far side, top of the circle, give it go. Walsh got it again, and another save by Kawamura. Kawamura made that one, I think, with his noggin. So a little melon save by Kawamura. Again, the puck over on the near side. Galushko shot, and Kawamura gets a stick on it. That puck was going wide, but Kawamura with those nifty, quick hands is able to knock that puck up and out of the play. 1:23 remaining in Tilton's penalty. Tilton came in. He was leading this team, or I should say tied with Plunkett for goals. They each had 7. Plunkett had 6 assists to lead the team with 13 points, but Aiden Tilton was right behind him with 12. Back to live action. Good Galushko on a heavy forecheck. On this PK, trying to keep the pressure on. Coveney's got it on his blade, fires it back up over to Alfieri, takes the zone. Fekete down the right-hand side, and the pass right back. Just misses Just misses Alfieri. Here comes Company, wheelie back over far side. Fekete feeds it back over, and it's intercepted by Gagne. And coming back out, Dubiel. Dubiel fires it back over the far side. Dubiel chases Fekete. Fekete tries to shake him off, does so, and finds Aiden Owen. Aiden Owen sets up behind the cage. Gagne. Gagne out there, number 27. The pass almost picked off. Fekete's got it, fires it back up, and we've got a whistle here. Perhaps too many men on. I don't know what it was, but Alfieri is pointing to himself. 50 parties, so 28 seconds remaining in Tilton's penalty. Alfieri goes to the box. So we'll have 28 seconds of 4-on-4 time. And the Gators will get their third power play of the contest. First of this second period. This one comes at the 12:08 mark. As I said, seconds of open ice, 4-on-4 action. And the Gators win the faceoff. They go back up to Jackson along the line. Jackson feeds it back down low. Pettigo's got it. His pass up front is tipped aside. And another good play by Jackson. Jackson takes it into the zone from the circle. His pass as he took a shot from Walsh is intercepted. Larson has it, challenged by Erickson. And Larson dives into the corner, picks up that puck, needs some support as he gets not only checked from below side, he's got the official to deal with as well. Walsh up at the line, as coming in was Cameron Smith, the senior, who led this team with 7 assists this year. And the Gators pick off the puck, and Ryan Erickson looks up ice. Morona, who had 9 goals this season for the defense, feeds it back straight ahead. Carter Charles with it, loses the handle. Walsh wraps it around the boards, and the puck is picked back up by Grabowski. Grabowski takes his time as Brooks Wright watches him. And Grabowski will circle back. He's got 47 seconds remaining in the power play as Alfieri sits in the box and awaits. The puck is swept back over, and the Eagles are able to clear the puck. Caden Grabowski, who had 5 goals in this CHSAA season, loses the puck. Brooks Wright pokes it free. Grabowski rescues it, moves it back over to Cornett. And Cornett, with a head of steam, moves back over past the red stripe and punches it back into the near side corner. He'll give chase. Muir's there. As Cornett battles for it, he's able to get a pass back over to Plunkett. Getting a handle on it with Muir. Up, not out. Gators do a good job. They've got control of the puck as they move the puck from side to side. Looking for the man right in the middle, as that was Cornett. Cornett got tied up and couldn't get a shot off. And Valor with a head up with a pass over to Alfieri. Alfieri brings it in and tucks it away 5-hole. Alfieri makes it 6-0. That goes as an even strength goal as Alfieri gets his 2nd consecutive goal. And what a pass as that came up. And Alfieri up ahead with a head of steam, and he draws Kawamura to the side and just tucks it between the pads. 5-hole goal there. Get a good look as Kawamura once again left alone there. Slides back over from right to left. Alfieri at the 10-minute mark makes it 6-0.
Assist on the play by number 11, Nick Morona. Time to roll 7 minutes in the second period.
Morona gets the assist on that. And Valor with a 6-0 lead. Let's see how as they keep the pressure on. There's Aiden Owen coming well out. As Aiden Owen will let you know that he's there. Dancing with the puck is Aiden Tilton. As Maddox Charles goes down, and here's the drive as diving for it was Aiden Owen, and Owen kisses this one off the glass. And the rolling puck was right on Kawamura's cage, and there was Maddox Charles. Maddox Charles beats his man to it and gets a shot on goal. Kawamura makes another save. See Maddox Charles is He knows he's got one shot, and he takes it there. There's Charles with some muscle, and now we've got a goalie change. We've got Mason Bean coming in. Kawamura has played half this game. Did a terrific job for Coach Tyson Davis, and I know Davis would tell him so, as he's going to split time between goalies here. As Gary Coveney with the puck on the yellow dasher board, feeds it back up to Ladwig, but Ladwig doesn't have a lot of room for it. The puck comes back out, Mills got it. Mills squares up, takes the shot, and a quick save as Cooper Robinson almost got handcuffed there. He makes a good reaction save. The bouncing puck is back over on Carter Charles' stick. Carter Charles challenged by Fadden. Fadden with a good poke check, gets it over to the half. It's pucked up along the wall, and it's pumped back out by Mills, and he gets chased. Mills with Smith with him. Mills with a shot, and it waves up and over as the Stanley Lake crowd cheers there, as Mills got a golden scoring opportunity as Whitmore steamrolls through Cornet. Cornet chases it in the near side corner. Carter Charles is there, chops at it, keeps it in. Whitmore rolls it around to the far side, chases Fadden. Fadden meets Walsh on the far side. Walsh chops at it, Fadden retrieves. Fadden slings it back over to the near side. It escapes the zone. It's going to go the distance. We've got icing with 7:23 and counting. It is still counting, as I believe we've got a rolling clock here in this second period at 7:15, and it is running. Great opportunity for Standley Lake. They had an opportunity. They had Mills and Smith on that 2-on-1. Here's a pass right in front, tipped in front, and Larson's got a goal. Muir's got an assist. It is 7-0. Jeremy Muir back up high. Almost looked like just a wrister, and you see as Muir gets free, sends that puck in, and Larson just tips it on his backhand. So Mason Bean suffers the same fate as Jack Kawamura. It is 7-0. Larson with the goal. And for big Ben Larson, that is his 9th goal of the season. And for Muir, had a couple of tallies this year as well. So Muir gets the assist on that. And the puck drifts in on Robinson. Muir chases Finnegan, Daniel Finnegan. Up and out of the slot. And so a defensive zone face-off for Valor as Cooper Robinson came in. Cooper Robinson made 311 saves this year. He gave up 28 goals the entire season. Off the face-off, puck is moved back over to punch pass as Fekete is looking for it. Maddox Charles is there, and giving chase is Grabowski. Grabowski continues to do some yeoman's work. Caden Grabowski. 5 goals this year for the Gators. Puck is punched back over to Fekete. Fekete calls for it back, and the tip play right in front of Bean's cage. That one went just up and over. You get a good look at Edward Chen, number 4, is the sophomore defenseman for Coach George Gwozdecki. And he's the 7th defenseman here. Noah Fekete flags that one down as he tries to toe drag. Stanley Lake won't have any of that. As a good play by Ryan Erickson thwarts that scoring opportunity for Fekete. Back over to Maddox Charles. Soft shot back in off the inboards. Barnes has it, curls. Barnes looking for a lane, finds Maddox Charles in front. Puck is swept back out. Edward Chen with the long stick gives out, yields to Barnes. And stealing the pucks, Maddox Charles has it, fires one up and over Bean's cage. Henry Barnes again one more time. And the puck is pitchforked up and out of the zone by Erickson. We'll go for an icing call. 4:06 and counting, 7-0 Valor in this second period. Quarterfinal action as Valor top team in this tournament, and you look at what might be ahead for Valor. And the game next between Regis and Monarch is going to be a doozy. Those two teams battled this year and had quite a competitive contest here. I'm looking forward to a great game next to see either Valor and or Standley Lake here. Subsequent to this contest ending here, here comes Mark Ladwig as good defensive effort by Quinn Fadden. Senior defenseman pitches him off, and the puck is picked back up by Aiden Tilton over on the far side in front of the Valor bench. Alfieri has it, trying to find Brooks Wright, but a good heady play as Tilton picks up the puck and dumps it back in. He'll go for a chase. Aiden Owen chops at it, rides the shelf line over on the near side. Puck is hoisted back out to center. Brooks Wright was looking for it. Alfieri checked off the play by Cornett. And the loose puck picked back up by Daco, gives it back up. Valor's got control again. Over on the far side, Alfieri loses an edge. Standley Lake will settle. Cornett banks it off the boards, and Ladwig has it. Ladwig fires it across ice. Walsh's pass just misses Brooks Wright, and Ladwig jumps back into the play. Ladwig ridden into the boards by Janowski. As Tilton was looking for a hit. Swing it, he missed, and it's Walsh. Walsh, he's the last man back, and he's gonna make sure that that doesn't get any further. And Walsh, the play by Walsh as Walsh lost the handle. The puck was picked up by Tilton. But Walsh was determined not to give Tilton any quarter. And he takes him out. Got an offsides called, so we've got a face-off. Or perhaps it was icing. Face-off comes all the way back to the Standley Lake and to the left-hand side of Mason. Came in with a 1.7 goals against average, 0.9 save percentage. As we talked about, Cherry Creek beat Resurrection Christian. They faced Ralston Valley. Got a good season this year. Watch Bean scoop up that puck. Denver East, who won national championship for an at-large school last year, and they won the state championship here, will face Chaparral. Chaparral beat Fort Collins. Fort Collins had a bit of a down year this year, but Chaparral beat them 4-0. Will face Denver East tomorrow night. Back to live action as Whitmore over on the far side. Trying to come up with the puck. Noah Feckerty loses an edge and goes hard into the inboards. The puck squirts free, and it's Carter Charles. Charles with the sauce. Jenkins gloves it out. Jenkins makes a nifty move, tries to feed it back. Carter Charles right in front, and Bean made a heck of a save. Bean slid over, took his man out, and Noah Feckerty is going to go for an interference call. And Feckerty with palms up, he gets the right call. Feckerty slid over and intentionally took the man out. So in the second period, the Gators are going to get their second power play with 49 seconds remaining in the period. Feckerty takes the interference call. The Gators have a power play from Coach Tyson Davis. Off that face-off, puck comes back up to the point, and the drive, that one goes wide, taken by Fadden. And trying to touch up that puck was number 3, that was Cornett. He did a good job to disrupt things, otherwise Larson was off to the races. Larson with the puck feeds it all the way back out to center. Jeremy Muir with a soft dump. Jackson Cornett, the offensive-minded defenseman, moves the puck back over to the right-hand side in front of the scorer's box. Taking it in, but Muir sweeps, corrals the puck, and moves it back over to the near side. Puck is held up at the line and stashed back down over on the far side. Sweeping in was Gagne. Gagne's pass beyond the reach. No icing as it came off a Standley Lake stick as the buzzer sounds, signaling the end of the second period. It is 7-0. Standley Lake, when they return for the third and final period, will have a minute 11 remaining in the power play. And so the officials give Valor the okay to head to the dressing room, so they will. In that second period, we entered it 4-0. We ended it 7-0. 3 goals by Valor, 2 by Alfieri. Company and Verona respectively. Ben Larson gets a goal from Jeremy Muir, making it 7-0. That's where we stand. I'm Manny Furtado for CHSAA Hockey Productions. We will be back for the third and final period. This is CHSAA. Quarterfinal action here. Valor 7, Standley Lake 0. Stay with us. And we're back for the third and final period. As Valor with the puck in the Gator zone. Puck is swept back behind the cage. Held up there. Dubiel doing a good job. Ties up his man and then swats Galushko's stick out of the way. Galushko calling for the puck, picks it up, spin around shot, and the ricochet. Back over to Walsh. At a sharp angle. Finds Morona. Morona drags it off the wall. Walsh in some tight quarters. Feeds it back down to Larson. Larson canceled by Jackson in tight. Walsh with a nifty move, but Mason Bean snuffs him out. Walsh jumps back in with some energy, back into the corner as Valor has held the puck into the Standley Lake zone a good portion of this first 3 minutes of this third period as the clock is rolling. And there's Walsh. Walsh has it poked away by Bean. Back over to Galushko, who covers the defensive point. This pass deflected. Standley Lake looks to navigate it back down as Galushko, that is Eric Galushko, number 60. It's checked hard into the boards. So. Comes out down visiting with the coaches of the next game here, and make the quick trip up here. It's the first minute of this third period. It's still 7-0. Here's Edward Chen, the sophomore defenseman. Coach Wozdecki scoops up that puck and moves it up the near side of the wall. Jenkins sidesteps, he's got Plunkett in front of him and chasing it back down the corners. Finnegan sweeps it back over to a waiting Carter Charles. Carter Charles tries a little bit of the self-pass. Puts the blades up against the boards, guides it back over the dasher and all the way out, and Cooper Robinson is going to get in a skate here as he sends it the distance. Jackson picks up the puck in front of the Standley Lake bench, and now he'll give chase as Chen is there first. Chen tries to move it up the boards, but Jackson chiseling away, keeping on good pressure back behind Robinson's cage. Jackson tries to come up with the puck, and it did stick as there's a little wet spot back behind the cage, and that held up the puck there as Jenkins slides it back over to Carter Charles. Carter Charles unable to get a good stick on it, puts it back down into the corner. Shouldered off by Jackson. Jenkins provides support. Finnegan's there. Jackson one more time. He's really been hard working. There's Company with the shot. Not saved, made by Mason Bean. Puck comes all the way back. Rolls back to Cooper Robinson's cage, and Robinson will hold it there as this clock is running. We're at the 12:31 mark and counting of this third period. 7-0. Valor leads. And as we said, Monarch really had a terrific season. They had some big wins this year. They had beaten Denver East in the first game of the season, and I think it set the tone a little bit for their season to get a big win like that, beating not only the state champion, but the national champion at that. They also beat, and so they had a terrific season to start things out. Excuse me, that's Monarch, not Standley Lake. And with Barnes with the puck back behind the cage, tries to feed it back over on the far side wall, and Maddox Charles banks it off the backhand back over to Aiden Owen. Waved at by Fekete, and it held on by Bean. So as I was mentioning, Standley Lake with some big wins. They beat Heritage a South team who made the playoffs. They beat them, and they also beat Resurrection Christian. They tied Denver East. That was back in early January. And they tied Denver East 2-2, so they showed that they could play with some of the best in this conference. As we're back to the live action, puck is swept up back on the near side and converging in on Mills. Mills takes it back into the corner, tries to feed it back up as he had Cornett waiting for it. Sweeping in is number 50, Castro. Castro back over to the far side. Puck is kept along the perimeter. Morona edged off. Whitmore has it, but a good forecheck by Derek Castro. Again, hassling Ryland Mills, one of the hardest working players on this Gator squad. And good pressure there as Castro punches it back in. He'll go for a line change. Valor's having some trouble getting this puck up and out as Standley Lake is executing a hard-working forecheck. They get a line change out of it. Now Valor's got to work out as losing the handle. As Whitmore moves it back over. Morona, his pass. Walsh, a backhand feed. Alfieri on the march. Alfieri is challenged there, takes it back behind the cage, and a soft pass in front. Goes to nobody in particular. The pass back over to Gagne. Gagne puts it back in. Cooper Robinson slides from side to side. And Glushko coughs it up to Walsh. Walsh, a backhander, back out to center. As Brooks Wright shoulders out Jackson. Logan Jackson, and the pass right in front. The bouncing puck is scored. As right in tight was Owen Walsh. And Walsh scores. We'll get a good look at it as this pass, kind of a no-look blind pass right there, comes all the way to Walsh in the slot. And Walsh puts it past Bean, making it 8-0. We get a good look from Walsh's perspective, picks it up right on the edge of the circle. Again, he goes 5-hole as well, so Walsh makes it 8-0. And Bean has given up a couple of goals here. Wright gets the assist, and for Brooks Wright, this is a line that scored during the regular season. They scored 27 goals. As Brooks Wright had 6 of those goals, Owen Walsh had 8 goals there. Puck comes back up and it goes between Shen's wickets. As Cooper Robinson comes way out, Tarosian tips and Walsh tries to move it past Erickson. Erickson stands his ground and is able to move the puck up, and here on a jump, Grobowski shot, and it whistles just off the post on the far side. And what a good looking play there, as up ahead of the play was Grobowski, number 22. He had 5 goals in the regular season. Kate Grobowski, Robinson sliding over, had to lean backwards. He might have gotten a piece of that with his stick, but hit off the post. And back over to the far side and up and out of play. We've got a Carter Charles with the puck. He's got Coveney up ahead of him. Coveney weaving. Coveney tries to dish it back, but a good play as Jackson Cornett got a stick on it. Otherwise, another scoring opportunity for Valor. As Coveney On the march one more time, takes it into the zone. Drop feed, Aiden Owen shot, scooped up Mason Bean with the shortstop save. Picks it back up and skates over to the far side corner. Mason Bean saw that one. Good execution by Valor. With that puck. So Mason Bean sets up. You can tell Bean versus Kellen Murray. Bean's got to be about 6'3" as he sets up. Here's the pass right in front, punch shot, and Maddox Charles, I think, gets the goal. Maddox Charles off the rebound. Aiden Owen came in and took that shot from the side angle. And Maddox Charles makes it 9-0. So Maddox Charles gets his first tally of the contest. Here you go, Aiden Owen passed it back over to Whitmore. His shot off the side of the cage. Maddox Charles with those good hands finds the back of Bean's cage. 9-0 Valor. Maddox Charles from Aiden Owen. And that comes at the 6:12 mark of this third and final period. Puck is dumped in by Daniel Finnegan. The majority of these Standley Lake players, a lot of them grew up in the Highland Hills youth organization. Tyson Davis had a number of these players growing up, and he's a first-year head coach for the high school, longtime coach and director for Highland Hills. Maddox Charles with the puck, drop feed as Fekete stretch it back, trying to come up with the puck, back over to Ladwig. Has the save made by Bean. Punch back behind the cage, and going back is Cameron Smith. Smith moves it along the wall. Morona's there, and Fekete's got it. Fekete with a soft pass. Finds Ladwig. Ladwig puts it back behind the cage. Maddox Charles near side. Morona up left point. Maddox Charles gets tied up by Jackson, but Morona's there to rescue the puck. Morona dishes it in front. Henry Barnes has it stripped off his stick. Finnegan's got it. And the puck is hoisted up and out. Robinson will keep the play moving. And the pressure. Maddox Charles is just offsides. Whistle blown, but the clock continues to roll for 49 and counting. 9-0 Valor. So, as I was saying, this Highland Hills squad, they've got Gary Pedigo on the bench along with Mark Liebler, Michael Koltecki. They really did a terrific job this year. They outscored their opponents by 40 goals. They were averaging 4 goals a game. They gave up a couple. There they get a shot in on Cooper Robinson, and Robinson makes that save. Valor was plus 68. They scored 100 goals and only gave up 32 this year, winning by nearly 4 goals a game. Their lone loss against Ralston Valley, first game of the season, and Valor goes on a 17-game winning streak. So for this senior squad with 12 seniors on the ice here tonight, including Noah Fekete, Henry Barnes, Brooks Wright, Garrett Coveney, Alfieri, Owen Walsh, Ben Larson are the forwards. And the defensemen, 5 out of the 7, Simon Terosian, Aiden Owen, who led the team in points in the regular season. He had 28 points, 8 goals, 20 assists. Phenomenal. Nicholas Morona led the defense in goals with 9 goals this year. Had a breakout season. Coveney touches it ahead. The puck dribs back in on Dean. Touched back into the corner. And Alfieri puts it back into the corner, chases it down. Brooks Wright is holds there. And I mentioned Jeremy Muir is also a senior. And the defense for this Valor squad contributed 20 goals this year. As you look at them, that is phenomenal. They had 9 between Terosian and Aiden Owen. 9, Morona had 9, Jeremy Muir had a couple. So they got great scoring from their blue line this year. As Standley Lake continues to battle, they don't give up. It's Alfieri with the puck. Standley Lake sets up and sizes up Alfieri. Alfieri checked hard off that play, and Brooks Wright almost delivered it back and sandwiched, but working his way through. Grabowski into the corner, battling hard, not giving up. 2:18 remaining. Grabowski makes a move at the top of the circle. Chen was there, swept back down, back below the line. Elijah Plunkett, who had 7 goals this year for the Stanley Lake squad, continues to work hard over on the far side half boards. Walsh tries to get that puck up and out, takes a shot. He's able to get it out, looking to back in as calling for the puck. Rossi, the defenseman, jumps in, but it rolls all the way down, and Galushko steps in trying to save it inside the zone. Stanley Lake with a minute 44, but it's offsides, much to the chagrin of number 22, Kate Grabowski, who was really hustling hard down there. He made a couple of nice moves into the corner. As he got converged on down low, but he didn't give up. Stanley Lake squad continues to battle hard as Valor move on into the next round. As Galushko digs it off the mid-ice boards and fires one back over to Larson on the far side. Jackson is there. Jackson, just a nifty move there, gets past Galushko. Unable to get it up and out of the zone as the long stick of Ben Larson. Down to the final minute of play. Mills with the puck, takes a long shot, emphatically saved by Cooper Robinson, and a backhander right in front as Mills taking his final shots on Cooper Robinson. Valor has to ice that puck as Stanley Lake keeps the pressure on, looking to hopefully get a goal and not be shut out here. They're trailing 9-0 with the face-off. Anthony Janowski, 53, will take it, but it's won by Jenkins. Whitmore off the glass, takes a funny bounce off the stanchions. Bouncing puck. And a host of players fighting for it. Valor's able to get it out. Jenkins moves the puck up and out. Slides it softly in as Barnes will watch. Final 3 seconds, that's going to do it. As the buzzer sounds, final score. Valor wins 9-0. Stanley Lake put up a fight, didn't give up, but Valor was too much for him. As Valor gets 4 goals in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third to make it 9-0. They had a power play goal from Barnes. They had a shorthanded one from Fekete. Otherwise, the other 7 goals were all even strength. This is Manny Furtado for Shaw Hockey Productions. Thanks for tuning in. And we look forward to having you on our next telecast. Valor moves on to the semifinals. Who will they face? Monarch or Regis to be decided next. 9-0 Valor over Stanley Lake. Good night.
We thank you all for attending, and please drive home safely.